Hey everybody, Chris from Killer Arcade Games here. Today is Monday. Mondays typically suck, but it's going to be a different Gameplay Monday video than usual. I did go to the Houston Arcade Expo on Saturday, which was going on all weekend, but I just went for one day. I didn't get enough footage to make a whole video out of it, and I figured rather than me just sitting in a chair talking about the experience, why not just tie it into a Gameplay Monday? I'm going to play MK4 because you guys know I can play MK4 and not really think. It's kind of like Killer Instinct. So we're going to play some MK4. I'm actually not going to do the hard tower because I don't want to be distracted too badly. But I'll do the medium. How's that? And we'll do some Scorpion. I miss playing as Scorpion. But I thought I'd go over the Houston Arcade Expo experience with you while I play. So we'll do that. Stupid Fujin. Nobody likes you, Fujin. I know a few people do. Sorry. So I'll start off by, let's see. I guess I'll start off by just how the day went. I didn't get there till about 11:30 or 12. It was somewhere in between there. And the reason for that is I live 3 hours away. So I didn't want to get up super early. I didn't want to, be miserable and driving there alone and, tired and all that. So I decided that I'll just get there about 11:30. I have plenty of time to spend the whole day there if I want. I'd rather drive home late than leave early personally. I like to keep my sleep schedule pretty normal, or that's when I have problems. But so I got there then. Now, if you guys saw my videos, I'm gonna be wearing my CAG shirt, so be sure you come say hi if you see my shirt. Well, Texas got cold all of a sudden. We've been in the nasty, muggy heat days, where it's 80-something degrees and really, really humid and miserable. On Friday, a front blew in, and now it's all of a sudden, we skipped fall, went straight to winter. It's just 30s in the morning, all that, and that's pretty cold for us, so don't laugh, you northern people. But, so I had, last minute, I had her get me a hoodie, and she just had a thing where she could print out something onto, heat transfer stuff, so she just ironed on a CAG logo for me. And it worked out. I was a little nervous going in because I don't know. I always feel weird wearing my own shirt. I don't know why, but it was for a reason. It was so you guys could be like, oh hey, I know that guy, and it worked because I got in the door and somebody knew who I was right away. It was I'd known who this guy was on Facebook and all that, but yeah, he said hi as I got into the door of the hotel, and then right after I said hi to him, I walked towards the convention area. Got in line, and then right away someone else was saying hi. So I was like, wow, this really worked out. Everyone knows exactly who I am, and it was perfect. So it was nice to meet several of you guys. I guess the funny thing is, though, none of them, I don't know if I asked you guys your YouTube name necessarily, but either way, nobody that was like, hey, I'm this person who's always in the chat. So either way, maybe if you guys do meet me in the future, tell me your YouTube name on top of your regular name. And then that way I'll know who you are, hopefully more than, that way I can at least put a face to a name. So next time I'm streaming, I'll be like, hey, I met that guy. For example, I met Night Yoshi, which I didn't, as far as I know. Or I met Panic Flip Gaming, which was not likely to happen considering how far he lives. But anyway, that would be helpful in the future. So the reason, I think I said I did not do much video, and the reason for that is there really wasn't a lot of games there that I was super excited about. They didn't have any Killer Instinct, any Mortal Kombat, which I know it seems dumb, but I was excited to maybe play with people there, random people I know, and I didn't get to do that because of that reason. JoJo was actually pretty disappointed in the game selection also, but we're gonna try to fix that next year. I say we, but really they are. Everybody who, I think all the games there were donated or brought from people's personal collections. I just died. So I hate to sound like I'm complaining. Thank you guys for taking all the effort to load those games up. I'm not complaining. It's just there wasn't a lot there that was exciting to me. They did have a Cruisin' World, whatever, and they had a couple games that I was excited to see. It's just nothing that was blowing my mind or anything. But next year, JoJo wants to bring, at least as far as I know, his Mortal Kombat trilogy cabinet that he made, and then he wants to do his MK4. The guy I met there, I'll just give you his YouTube or his Facebook username, which is Randy Savage, not his real name. He wants to bring his Killer Instinct, a couple MK cabinets, and all that. So if that all works out, they want to try to set up a tournament and have a whole midway section next year, because there really was only maybe 2 or 3 Midway games there total. I'm trying to think. I mean, Midway arcade games, at least. There was probably more Midway, Bally Midway pinball there, of course. But anyway, so we want to have a better Midway section, and if that all happens, I'll be sure to tell you guys that it's going to happen. I'll be sure to give you guys the dates, and that way if you want to try to make it out to that expo, I'll definitely be there next year if they do that stuff. I'll probably go next year either way, just because it's kind of cool, but anyway, so crap. So I didn't get footage, but you didn't really miss much. Lots of pinball, arcade games were there too, which was cool, but not a ton of things of note. Now I did see, if you were following my Instagram stories and all that, I did find a way to play Killer Instinct and Mortal Kombat there. It was just through emulation. Paradox Arcades, I believe that's their name, on Instagram. I'll leave a link to their Instagram and I think their website. I'll try to do that in the description. They had an emulation machine there that had a really nice, like, I'm usually not a big fan of the marquees that will change. It was a screen, but this one was really well integrated. It looked pretty great to me. And the kick plate even had an area where it would display the, it was a screen, it would display the game's flyer when the game was running. I thought that was kind of cool. So anyway, they had Killer Instinct, and they had Mortal Kombat. They even had NK4, but it was running MAME, and of course MAME isn't great, so I didn't really play that much. But it was cool that they had it. And I actually met the guys who run the company, as far as I know, both named Chris, 2 Chris's. They played against me on KI for a while. They only got a couple wins on me here and there, which was good because they hadn't played a whole lot lately. So I was going to say, well, I can't let some noobs beat me. Or not noobs, but you know, I haven't played in a while kind of noobs. Wow. Crazy difficulty right now, and I'm distracted. But so that was fun. I probably played KI with them for like a whole hour at least straight. We were just standing there hogging the machine forever, and then finally I looked back and I was like, oh, there's people waiting. So I got out of the way. But I would love that in the future. Like, say next year they bring a KI cabinet, and let me explain quickly why I don't offer my own cabinets up, because it's just a pain in the butt to get them out of the shed. Getting them into the shed is kind of tough. Getting them out of the shed is kind of tough. If they were in my garage still, okay, I can bring them. But hopefully those guys will come through with it, and if they do, it'll be really, really fun to play against people. Like, we can just, you know, take turns fighting each other on KI, Mortal Kombat, all that. But moving on, so I met several of you guys, and I assume maybe you're here. If you are, let me know. But I also got to meet somebody I've been following on Instagram for a while. Dearest Abby is her name on there. I'll try to remember to link to it. We've been following each other for a while. Met her and her husband out there. She did a really cool cosplay outfit. I sound like I'm 100 years old because I don't know the terminology for cosplay. Well, she had one of those cosplay outfits you hear about. Actually won a trophy for it. I've been watching her make it throughout the week, or for a while now. And it was a Silent Hill costume and all that. So it was really cool to see her win something. I don't know what place she actually won. I couldn't hear because it was loud in there, but I was happy to see she got a trophy, and I got to meet her in person finally. And yeah, around that time, so I got there about 11:30, 12 o'clock. I was pretty much ready to go by about 2:30, but hold on. I'm gonna change characters. But I still wanted to meet Todd. I didn't know Todd was even gonna be there until the night before I saw him stream from there, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna have to go find Todd and meet him. And if you don't know who I'm talking about, Todd Tucky from TNT Amusements is like a legend in the arcade world, especially the arcade YouTube world, in my opinion. He has been around for over a decade, I think now. I think 2010 he was telling me is when he actually started, because I knew I'd been watching him for a long time. This was well before I started my channel, well before, you know, I was always into arcades, but I was never like, you know, they would kind of come and go. I'd get excited and be like, well, I'm never going to own one of those, so I'm not gonna get myself too worked up. But I remember getting, you know, every now and then, I'd be like, God, I missed this game or that game. So I would look up the game on YouTube, and of course he would come up and he would show you, well, this is how it works inside, and the television set is what he always calls the monitor, and pisses off everybody who... He always calls it the television set, which I thought was always funny, and I know it upsets people, but anyway, he just seemed like a genuinely nice guy, and I was like, I gotta meet this guy. He's giving me some lots of entertainment over the years. So I hung out for a while longer. He was nowhere to be found. By about, I guess 4:30, I was like, look, I'm really tired. I'd already walked 4 miles just walking around that place over and over. I played some games, you know, nothing super exciting for me at least, but played some games, and finally I was like, okay, I need to eat dinner before I leave, so what I'll do is go eat now. I'll just go on the other side of the highway and have some Whataburger or whatever, and then I'll come back and give it one more chance. Now, if he's not here when I get back, I gotta just go home, because I didn't want to get home real late. So I ate my food. No onions, by the way. You can't have onions on a Whataburger and then go talk to a bunch of people. It was like, sure enough, I'm gonna eat a burger with onions on it, and sure enough, there's gonna be like 4 people like, oh, hey, Craig, and they want to talk closely, and you gotta be loud, because games and all that. So I did not dare eat a burger with onions. I get back about 5:15, 5:30, and I go back in. I'm walking around. I said, I'll give it 30 minutes. I give it 30 minutes, and finally, I'm just like, I gotta go home. I guess it's not gonna happen this time. It sucks, but text Lady Cag, like, hey, I'm giving up on Todd, and I'm just gonna head on out. And then, as I'm heading out, I walk out of the convention space, through the breezeway to the door of the main hotel so I can go back in and go to the parking lot. There's a guy at the door, and he's standing there talking, so I was like, okay, I'll just go to the next door and, you know, I didn't want to make a move or anything, and sure enough, it was Todd. I was like, wow, this was perfect timing. Uh-oh. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Anyway, sure enough, it was Todd, so I was like, oh, he was talking to somebody, so I just kind of scooted off awkwardly right there by the door, too. And I'm just like, I'm not leaving. I got to say hi to Todd. I'm not really a big bother people, like, I don't know if you'd call the guy a celebrity, but, you know, most celebrities, like, if I see a celebrity out, I gotta be a pretty large fan of them to be like, I'm gonna go bug them, because I just know they get this crap all the time and they're probably sick of it. So finally I wait my turn, and I think he can kind of tell I'm standing there waiting to talk to him. And I'm like, Todd, I just want to tell you I'm a huge fan of your channel, been watching for a long time. I really enjoy it. It's an honor to meet you, all that stuff. And he was unbelievably nice. Like, I thought, you know, just be a quick, well, thank you. Hey, do you want a picture or anything? And it turned out to be like, well, hey, I'll sign something for you. Let me see if I have one of my cards. And he pulled it out, and he's like, what's your name? You know, he wrote it all out to me and everything. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. Thank you. And he's like, well, do you want a picture? And I was like, oh, okay. Again, I don't bug people for pictures. I'm not a big selfies guy. I don't know why. I just don't. I feel like I'm always awkward in a picture. But anyway, I was like, I can't say no. So I give my phone to his lady. I'm forgetting her name all of a sudden. Not his wife, but anyway, sorry to that lady. But give my phone to her, and, you know, we take a picture. He's like, now let's do a goofy one. And I'm like, oh, I'm not a goofy picture kind of guy. But why not? I'm with Todd. I got to do it, right? He's like grabbing my glasses and stuff, and I'm like, I thought he wanted me to take them off. I was like, oh, I'll just take them off. He's like, no, do them sideways, so that he's like, they're kind of like that. And then he's like, now stick your tongue out. And then he starts like fake choking me. I was like, okay. So you'll probably see the picture somewhere on the screen here. That was fun, and I thought, okay, interaction's probably over now. I'm not going to take any more of this guy's time. He's busy, I'm sure. But no, he was more than willing to just chat. I was like, okay, so you know, just kind of talking about this and that, and then I ended up telling him, like, you know, I was just about to go home. I almost gave up on meeting you. I went to go get dinner and then came back and just said, I'll give it one more shot. Well, it was loud in there, and I don't think he heard me very well, so I think he thought I was saying that I'm going to go get dinner. And he's like, well, hey, we're going to dinner. You should come with us. And I was like, Todd Tucky wants me to go to dinner with him. Like, totally fanboying out mentally, and I'm like, you know, if they had the little bubble come out and you could see the cogs spinning, mine were like spinning really fast and breaking. So eventually I was like, well, I just ate, and like the lady, again, I can't remember her name, it's driving me nuts. She was like, oh no, he said he ate, and I was like, oh yeah. And he's like, oh, okay. So, but the fact that the guy just met me 5 minutes before that, maybe, and was like, hey, you want to come out to dinner with us? Like, what a nice guy. Personally, I don't know that I would have done that to somebody I don't know. For one, I would be like, I don't know if they'd want to go to dinner with me, you know, but I don't have the right self-esteem for that kind of thinking. But he's just a genuinely nice guy, was like, come on to dinner with us. And anyway, so after that, I thought again, I was like, okay, so now he's gonna be like, okay, well, we'll see you later. No, he's hanging out, chatting. We talked for like 10 minutes, you know, just, I should have gone to dinner with him. I should have just said, if you guys don't mind, I hate to overstep my boundaries, But I would like to go to dinner. I won't even talk. I'll just sit there and listen because I would love to hear what he has to say. I'm sure he's got tons of like cool arcade knowledge that, you know, a lot of people just don't know, or, you know, stuff he saw that was around well before many of the people that are out there now. Like, to me, he's got to be one of the original arcade guys who's been in like the public eye. So he always knows something about a cabinet. It's really interesting. But anyway, I wussed out completely. I was like, I don't want to bother y'all. I won't go to dinner. Anyway, so yeah, that kind of made my night. I was like, this was awesome. What a nice guy, genuinely nice guy. I know Retro Ralph met him and said the same thing, and I was like, I gotta meet the guy. So I'm glad I finally accomplished that. Got to meet a few people from the channel, which was like a first. I've literally, other than meeting JoJo, and the guy who bought my arcade one up knew who I was, but other than that, I've never met anybody from the channel, so it was kind of cool to get to do that. Now, I'm sure everyone's going to ask, would you go next year? And I think I've already answered that, which is, yeah, I'll go next year. Especially if they bring games that I'm more interested in, and maybe we can make a bigger deal out of it. Like, you know, get more people to come out and play some games. Maybe we'll have a tournament going. I don't know if I could find anything to donate as a prize, but maybe I can work that out. If they're bringing, the games, maybe I can bring like a prize or something like that, or we can find somebody to give something away. Like a company who's willing to give something away as a prize. So that was awesome. I was exhausted though. Like, today's Sunday as I'm recording this. I usually record it a day early, obviously. And I was completely beat today when I woke up. And my biggest concern is now, like, oh, am I finally going to get COVID? Never had COVID, not that I've known of at least. Oh, I was going for that double flawless. Oh! So now I'm wondering, am I finally going to get it? Am I going to get the flu? Am I going to get whatever you get when you go to these conventions and talk to a bunch of people? Hopefully not, but I was pretty beat today, so I made sure to have a Liquid IV vitamin C, which is not an ad, but like I've said before, Liquid IV, if you're listening, hit me up. I'll be glad to do an ad for you. But yeah, I didn't want to do anything today. I did come out and play some games in here and all that. And yeah, actually, you guys have seen the video anyway. Target Terror is behind me, waiting on the parts still. And I got a great offer from Mike, another, in my opinion, I feel weird saying this now because I've talked to him a few times, but another arcade YouTube legend, Mike from Your MK Arcade Source, and Mike's Amateur Arcade Monitor Repair. I feel like I'm always screwing that name up. He's great at fixing the monitors, so I always watch his channels and stuff, and we were asking him for some advice. And he dug through his parts bin and actually has a neck board for the D9200 monitor. And he said we can have it if we want, he'll ship it to me. I can install that one and send him back the broken one, and he can maybe get it fixed up to keep in his parts, I guess. But for now, I told him let's wait and see if this part that I'm ordering fixes it, which is a chip that goes on the neck board and apparently controls red and the on-screen diagnostics and all that. And it would make sense. Oh, I didn't hold the button. It would make sense that that could be the issue because this monitor is much different than most arcade monitors. The old ones have knobs on the back of the neck board. Wow, that is really chugging. Anyway, you can turn the red, green, and blue up or down and balance the colors out. This does not. This has an on-screen one, kind of like an old CRT monitor you had for your PC. You'd push the buttons on the front to change settings and stuff. So that said, the adjustment board is nothing like most arcade monitors. It's just 4 buttons, and you navigate a menu and change it there. Well, I've noticed when using that menu, the menu will actually crap out randomly when you push certain buttons, or if you hold a button too long. Like if I'm holding down the up button to turn the red up to test it, it'll just completely disappear on me. So I was thinking, was something wrong with this adjustment board? And it turns out it's not, I don't think it's the board, because the board is very basic and we've done some research on it, and everyone says the board doesn't even have to be plugged in, which most monitors will require an adjustment board plugged into it or it'll be a big problem. This one does not. So anyway, it's not the board, but that chip also controls the on-screen, I keep calling it diagnostics, I don't know if that's what it's called, the OSD menu. And that could be the reason we're having problems with that too. So maybe it'll fix our no red issue. If not, I told Mike I will take him up on his very generous offer to let me try the new neck board or the neck board he has. And hopefully this thing will be working, because I'm getting pretty discouraged, man. I'm glad, really glad I talked the seller down in price, because he originally wanted $750, and I was like, dude, he thought it would be an easy fix for the monitor, and I'm like, I have done enough stuff with monitors, not really myself necessarily, but we had JoJo help and realized, and watched Mike's channel, by the way. I'll try to link to all this stuff. God, I keep forgetting. I gotta hold low kick. I've watched him troubleshoot, and this guy's very experienced. I'm not experienced. I don't really ever want to have to do this. Every time I buy a cabinet, I never want to have to deal with a monitor repair again. I know it's inevitable. I need to just learn to do it myself so I don't have to bug everybody. But anyway, I'm glad I talked him down because he was like, well, I'm sure it's an easy fix. I just can't find the adjustment. And I'm like, well, there is no adjustment apparently. And anyway, the adjustment did nothing. The red is totally out on that monitor. So I got him down to 600. I felt kind of bad at first, but now I don't at all because I think that was very fair with how much trouble it's caused and how much I've had to spend. I've already spent some money fixing it. I hate you, Jax. How dare you? So anyway, that's where we are with that. I went off on a tangent on that, but Houston Arcade Expo was cool. If you guys were there, leave me a comment letting me know if I met you or if you saw me or if you didn't say hi. Tell me why. Maybe you hate my guts secretly and you just come here to hate watch. You never know. I'm sure somebody saw me there and was like, oh, that's that guy who does Arcade 1-Up videos. Gross. Because you know how some arcade guys are like, oh, screw Arcade 1-Up. But it's okay. If you hate it on me, that's fine. I know I do. I have Arcade 1-Ups, but I also have the real cabinets. So what are you going to do? But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. I hope you guys are having a good Monday. I have like 4-day, well, last week was a 4-day work week because of Veterans Day. Thank you, veterans. And this week's going to be a 4-day work week because I'm going to ride my bike. Such a weird statement. Like, hey guys, oh, I forgot to hold the button again. I forgot to hold the stupid button, so I can't do it. But yeah, hey guys, I'm going to go ride my bike, but I'm going to Spider Mountain, which is not a mountain. But if you're in the Texas area and you like mountain biking, you've probably heard about it. It's the only ski lift in Texas. I'm going to go do that this week and take a day off, which will be nice. The only problem is it's going to be cold. I'm not a big outdoors in the cold kind of guy. Mainly because I'll still manage to sweat. I don't understand how. I can wear, the problem is I'll wear warm clothing and then I'll still sweat just because I genuinely have like a sweating issue apparently. I don't know what it is. Hyperhidrosis or something, but I'll sweat when it's like 35 degrees. It doesn't matter. If I'm biking, I remember one time we went biking once, it was 30 something degrees, it was very windy, and we were just going over big rocks and going slow and putting a lot of effort. And I remember being like, why am I sweating? I'm ice cold, but I'm still sweating. So that's why I don't like it that much. Also, when you get to breathing hard, like I used to have asthma as a baby, and I think effects of it still linger because I will have like the coldest lungs on the planet. Oh, I'm holding the button. Hold the button. Hold on. And it hurts. Like it physically hurts to breathe at that point. Maybe that's just a thing that happens. Yes. Hold on. Everyone turns into Liu Kang when you get your leg ripped off. It's so good. The fact that he doesn't stop is what makes it so funny to me. But okay, anyway. So I'm probably going to have the cold lung. And then the week after next is Thanksgiving, which I'll probably spend alone like a sad person. Not true, really. I mean, I'll be home alone for a couple nights while Lady Cag goes to see family. And I'll go to my parents' house and have dinner with them. But I would like to be able to go. I haven't seen her family in like 2 years because of stupid COVID. And they're still pretty afraid, they're elderly, so they don't want to get it. So everyone who's coming is going to test, I believe, just to make sure they don't give, her elderly family an illness. But yeah, so I think I get 3 days off that week. We usually take a decent amount of time off. I'm not going to cross my fingers. I'm not going to hold my breath because it's very possible something will come up and it'll be busy and we got to work on Wednesday after all. But usually we at least get Thursday and Friday off. Normally I get a lot more time off because we usually leave on Tuesday and come home on Thanksgiving. Not this time though. But it's nice because I've been very, very busy this whole summer. When you add work on top of like, oh, I got to, work on the shed, and then I've got to, now that the shed's done, now I've got to maintain the shed or maintain all the stuff that I forgot to do during the summer or I put off because I couldn't get it done building the shed. So I'm still catching up, but I'm hoping this winter I'll catch up and I'll have plenty of days where I can just come in here, not feel like I have to work. I hate to call this work. This is hardly work. Getting to play games and talk to people and make videos, but it's nice to just come out here sometimes and be like, I don't have to worry about doing a video. I don't have to worry about, you know, there's things that need to be done. I can just come out here and play. Those are the days I'm really looking forward to. I know last year, there's nothing better than when it's like real cold outside and Lady Keg's cooking up something tasty. You know, she's always like, when it gets really cold, she's like, I'm gonna make a fancy meal, and she'll be in the kitchen like all day. It'll smell good. Now I'm no longer gonna get to smell it because I'm out here, but like I would go upstairs, I wouldn't have much to do. I'd turn on all the cabinets. I'd sit there and hang out, and it was great. Like I loved it. Hold on, let's end it this way. Oh, come on. There we go. Jumped on your head. And it was just so fun. Like I love those days where, I won't lie, I do feel like a total loser if I didn't get anything done that day, but sometimes it's nice just to have a day to do whatever. Yeah, I'm not gonna, it's nasty outside. It's cold and rainy. I can't go out and get exercise. I could get it inside. We have an elliptical, but I'm kind of lazy. It's kind of hard to want to do the elliptical, you know, but I'll shut up here.
I grant you the gift of your existence. My existence? Understand, sorcerer. I consume all energies, including the life forces of
Shinnok's kind of a dick.
but I shall spare you. If it weren't for me, you would still be a tortured soul, rotting in the pits of the netherrealm. You dare question me? I do more than question you, Shinnok. I challenge you.
This is actually a really good ending.
You shall die.
Ha!
What?
Hot?
Powers are useless against me. How can this be? I am in possession of your one sacred amulet. Years ago, I delivered to you an exact duplicate, while I retained the original. I even fooled Raiden. Now I am ruler supreme, and you, Elder God.
Dun dun dun. I love an ending that has a fatality in it. That's always fun, especially a chunky, gory one like that. All right, guys, it's been 27 minutes or so. I probably had to cut off the beginning where I messed up or something, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed the Houston Arcade Expo. Honestly, still the highlight was meeting Todd. I can check that off the old bucket list. I'm sure the guy's probably gonna, you know, he's getting older. I imagine he may not want to travel as much anymore, so I feel very lucky that I got to actually meet him. And that was awesome. So hopefully next year we can do the Houston Arcade Expo again. I might do a meetup again soon, or attempt a meetup. The original one failed because I had to build the shed and I couldn't get out. But I think we can do one this winter. We'll see. Let me know in the comments. Now keep in mind, it's got to be somewhere in Texas right now, unless somebody's paying to fly me somewhere, because I cannot afford it right now. But otherwise I can do a meetup at not anywhere in Texas. Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin, San Antonio. There's no arcades in San Antonio. And Houston. No good arcades. Sorry to any San Antonio arcades that may be watching. Mainly just crappy barcades where they don't really care about the games. But let me know if you guys want to have a meetup or if you'd be interested in coming out in the comments. And I guess until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I want to say, fingers crossed on this one, maybe we'll be doing a Gameplay Monday of Target Terror next Monday. But we'll see. I just don't know. The chip's going to come in. We got to get it put in. We got to hope it works. If not, I'm just going to keep waiting. It is playable, but it looks like crap. It's not worth doing a Gameplay Monday on. All right, guys. I hope you have a good rest of your Monday. I hope you have a good rest of your week. And maybe I'll stream this weekend and we'll catch up then. Thanks for watching.